Hare Krishna, welcome to the question and answer session on the Srimad Bhagavatam. The first question today is, as per the rules of war, none should be killed when the chariot is stuck or in bad condition. But Karna is killed by Arjuna by the instructions of Krishna when Karna's chariot was stuck. How is it dharma? I am a bit confused. So this episode is very elaborately narrated in the Karna Parva of the Mahabharata, when Karna and Arjuna were engaged in a terrible fight. Suddenly the wheel of Karna's chariot got stuck in the sand, in the mud, and Karna got down to remove his wheel, and at that time the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna instructed Arjuna not to waste even a moment and take up his weapon and kill Karna. So even Karna was surprised at this kind of an instruction given by the Lord, the protector of Dharma, the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. Karna was also theoretically aware of the supreme position of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And Krishna is Dharma Setu, the supreme protector and the eternal protector of Dharma or religious principles. So even Karna asked the same question to Krishna, that how is it that you are instructing Arjuna to kill me in an irreligious way, flouting the principles of Dharma? And at that time, the amazing reply given by the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna to Karna is recorded in the Mahabharata Karna Parva. The main basic reply, the essence of the reply given by Krishna is Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. Krishna reminded Karna of all the irreligious deeds that had been committed and perpetrated by Karna. He reminded him that when the Kauravas were conspiring to send the Pandavas and Kunti to the palace of Lak, and they were conspiring to set it on fire and in that way burn the Pandavas. At that time, did Karna think about Dharma? And to all the various irreligious activities of the Kauravas headed by Duryodhana, the partner in crime of all the irreligious deeds committed by the Kauravas and by Duryodhana, the partner in crime in all these crimes was Karna as well. In fact, in the assembly of the Kauravas in which Draupadi was called and insulted, Karna was the principal villain, the principal criminal who actually ordered, who suggested the disrobing of the saintly, of the highly religious and the great devotee Draupadi. So Krishna reminded Karna of all the irreligious acts that he had committed, and now he is trying to take. He had broken the principles of Dharma throughout his life, and now when there is a situation of danger, he wants to take the shelter of Dharma. So this is highly unethical, and this was pointed by Krishna that Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. One who protects Dharma has got the right to seek shelter of Dharma in a difficult situation. One who is always on the side and has taken shelter of Adharma does not have the right to seek the shelter of Dharma. And in this way, Krishna explains, so this is the right understanding, that Karna had taken the side of the adharmic Kauravas and had supported many irreligious acts, and personally also committed and perpetrated many acts of adharma, and therefore he did not have the right or authority to seek shelter of Dharma in this period. The next question by Sri Anandji. Hare Krishna Guruji, I would like to know about the 14 lokas. As per the Vedic cosmology, the entire universe consists of the 14 lokas, also known as Chaturdasha Loka or Chaturdasha Bhavana, of which there are 7 Urdhva Loka or the upper planetary systems and 7 Adholokas or the lower planetary systems. The Urdhva Lokas or the upper planetary systems are Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and finally Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. And the 7 Adholokas or the 7 lower planetary systems are mentioned to be Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and finally Patala. So this is the description of the universe of the 14 planetary systems according to the Vedic cosmology, which is explained in detail in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The next question is, who lives in these lokas? So all the 14 lokas are inhabited by various living beings who have the qualification to live in those specific places. Just like to be elevated to the Svargaloka and live there, there are certain qualifications described in the Vedic scriptures which are made according to the laws of nature. So just like the king of heaven, who is known as Indra, it is also explained that he is Shatakratu. He has performed 100 Ashwamedha Yagnas. So one who can perform 100 Ashwamedha Yagnas or a certain amount of penance and austerity or a certain level of pious activities or some amount of spiritual activities becomes qualified to inhabit in the Svargaloka, in the heavenly planets, and higher than that is the Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and finally is the Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. For each of the lokas there are certain qualifications required to be elevated and to live in that particular planetary system. The next question, as Jivas, how to map to these lokas for liberation? Now this is a very, very important thing to know and understand, that for all the lokas, for the 7 higher planetary systems and the 7 lower planetary systems, how do they map to the concept of liberation or moksha? Who is suitable, who becomes eligible for attaining the highest perfection of moksha or liberation from the material world? All the 14 lokas are within samsara, within material existence, within the material world, and moksha means liberation, to become free from the bondage of all the 14 planetary systems of the entire material world and go back to the spiritual world. So which loka maps properly, suitably to the attainment, to the achievement of moksha or liberation? So this is explained many times in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that the most suitable, the most eligible, the most appropriate platform and place and location and loka to attain liberation is Bhuloka, the earthly planetary systems. And even in Bhuloka, the most suitable place for attaining moksha or liberation is Jambudvipa, and in Jambudvipa there are 9 Vakshas, and among those 9 Vakshas, the best place to attain liberation is Bharata Vaksha. So it is explained many times, especially in the 5th and 8th cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that even the denizens of the heavenly planets, including the Svargaloka up to Brahmaloka, pray to the Supreme Lord and aspire to take birth in Jambudvipa, in Bhuloka, in Bharatavarsha, which gives the best chance to attain liberation. Because just in one lifetime, if one seriously dedicates oneself to spiritual culture, one can attain very easily liberation in Bhuloka. Whereas even in the highest planetary system, that is in Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, although one may have advanced tremendously even on the spiritual path, once one is elevated to Svargaloka or to Brahmaloka, one has to wait for a very long time till the completion of the Dviparardha, and only after that one can attain liberation or moksha. Whereas in Bhuloka, in Bharatavarsha, one can, in just one lifetime, it is a definite possibility to attain this highest platform of liberation. The next question, please explain the types of liberation. How does one map to different types of liberation? How do you move from one level to the next? My understanding is that even when you achieve the first level, there is no rebirth. So this is very exactly, specifically explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.13. It is explained that Salokya Sakshti Samipya Sarupyaikatvam Diyamanam Nagrihnanti Vinamatsevanam Janaha. There are basically 5 levels or types of moksha or liberation, and they are Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya, Sarupya, Aikatvam, Apyuta. They are Salokya. After liberation, one becomes completely free from all material bondage of Kala, Karma and Guna, and then reaches the level of Brahman, or the complete realm of Brahma Jyoti. And after that is the Virajanadi, and beyond the Virajanadi is the realm of the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha Lokas. And in Vaikuntha Loka there are many spiritual infinite planets filled with innumerable pure liberated, eternally liberated pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. So the first level of liberation is called Sayujya. Sayujya means Ekatvam. After liberation from all the material principles of bondage, one reaches Brahman or Brahma Jyoti. So Brahma Jyoti is called Sayujya because the small particle of the Jivatma is of the same quality of Brahman in Brahma Jyoti, and it seems like just like one particle of sunshine in the huge realm of the entire sunshine. So one particle is situated. Likewise, one Jivatma, after attaining liberation, becomes one particle of Brahma Jyoti in the expansive realm of Brahma Jyoti. And this first level of moksha is called as Sayujya. And beyond Sayujya, after crossing the Virajanadi, then comes the Vaikuntha Loka. And in Vaikuntha Loka, the first, that is technically the second level of moksha is called Salokya. Salokya means to reside in the same spiritual planet as the Supreme Lord, as the Supreme Brahman, Lord Vishnu. So Salokya, Sarshti, the second spiritual liberation, and the third level of liberation is after Sayujya, Salokya, and then is Sarshti. Sarshti means to have equal or a similar kind of opulences like the Supreme Lord. So this is known as Sarshti. Salokya refers to residing in the same spiritual planet as the Supreme Lord. Sarshti refers to the attainment of similar kind of spiritual attributes and opulences as the Supreme Lord. Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya, and the fourth kind of liberation is called Samipya, or to be a very intimate associate of the Supreme Lord. Samipa means to be very close to be very intimate to the Supreme Lord. And the fifth level of liberation is called Sarupya. So Sarupya means to attain a similar form, a similar divine Satchidananda Swarupa, which is similar to the Supreme Lord, and that is called Sarupya. So these are the 5 kinds of liberation, from beginning with the first level being Sayujya, then Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya, and then comes Sarupya. But even beyond these 5 kinds of liberation, there is something called the highest, the ultimate stage of liberation, which is the exclusive right of the most intimate and confidential devotees of the Supreme Lord, Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So that is explained in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Nemam Virinayam Sukhapo Bhagavan Dehinam Gopika Sutaha Jnaninam Chatma Bhutanam Yatha Bhakti Matamiha Nemam Virincho na bhavo na shrirapyanga samshaya prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. This highest platform of liberation is also known as Vimukti. Vimukti means Vishesha Rupena Muktihi. The most exclusive, the ultimate type of liberation is called Vimukti. And that Vimukti is attained by the gopis, by the inhabitants of Vraja, Vrindavana. So that is the highest realm even in the spiritual world, that is Goloka Vrindavana. So the inhabitants of Vrindavana are the only recipients and those who follow in the footsteps of the eternal liberated residents of Vrindavana. They attain this Vishesha Mukti, or being elevated to the Goloka Vrindavana, the eternal residence of the Supreme Lord Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So these are the various levels of liberation or moksha. The next question is by Shri Vasanji, who has asked the question. The Pandavas acknowledge that their strength originated from Lord Krishna. In fact, Arjuna says a few cowherds defeated him in the absence of the Lord. However, some of the Kaurava heroes like Karna, Duryodhana, etc., without the Lord's blessings, were great fighters. Does that mean that they were more stronger than the Pandavas, whose strength was nothing without the Lord's blessings? So this is a very, very interesting question. People think that, okay, the Pandavas derived all their strength and power from the blessings of Lord Krishna, whereas the Kauravas or Karna or many such personalities attained their power and strength by in their individual capacities. Actually, this kind of understanding, this kind of perspective, that the strength or any kind of qualification is obtained by my individual capacity, is the greatest sign, indication of the asuric or the demoniac mentality. The real fact is that, the real truth is that the strength of the Pandavas and the strength of the Kauravas and the strength of everyone in this world and for all times in history as well as in the future, the source of all strength is one, the Supreme Lord. And those who acknowledge this, understand this and realize this fact, that the source of all strength is the Supreme Lord, are the Devas or the Bhaktas, the devotees. And those who do not understand this principle and are misdirected by ahankara, by false ego, falsely thinking that they have attained strength by their own capacity and by their own qualification, are known as asuras or the demons. Because even their strength, although although the source of their strength and qualification is the Supreme Lord, they do not have the eyes or the intelligence, the wisdom and the humility to understand and acknowledge this. They are in illusion, in Maya. This is very beautifully explained in the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam in Prahlada Charitra. In Prahlada Charitra, when Hiranyakashipu confronted Prahlada and asked him, he explained to him, Hiranyakashipu said that Kruddhasya yasya kampante trayoloka saheshwaraha. When I become angry, even the greatest of devatas, kampante, they tremble in great fear. And you who are my son and a small kid of just a small child of 5 years, you are so fearlessly standing in front of me without the slightest trace of fear. Hiranyakashipu inquired from Prahlada, what is the source of your strength? By whose strength are you able to face me without any fear? And at that time, this is the golden statement of Bhakta Prahlada recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8.7, wherein Prahlada very beautifully expresses that न केवलं मे भवतश्च राजन् सवै बलं बलिनां चापरेषां परावरेमि स्थिरजङ्गमाये ब्रह्मादयो येन वशं प्रणीताः. Hiranyakashipu had inquired from Prahlada, what is the source of your strength? And Prahlada beautifully replied that na kevalam me, actually the source of my strength is also the source of your strength, O Hiranyakashipu. So the source of my strength of which you are asking is also the source of your strength. Indeed, the original source, savai balam balinam cha aparesham. The source of my strength, the source of your strength, the source of aparesham of everyone is the same, and that is, he says, Brahmadayo yena vasham pranitaha, including up to the strength and qualification and capabilities of Brahma, of Lord Brahma. Including me, you, everyone, also Lord Brahma, the source of everyone's strength is the Supreme Lord, Narayana, Srihari, Vishnu. So Prahlada understood and realized this. Hiranyakashipu could not understand this, and in a moment all his strength was finished, vanquished, destroyed by the supreme powerful Lord Narasimhadeva. Even the Kauravas, although they were so proud and puffed up of their so-called individual strength, either it may be Duryodhana, Dushasana or Karna or anyone else, in a moment, in a flash, everyone were turned into dust just by the glance of Kala Shakti, of supreme time, which is just one of the tiny material energies of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So who can compare to the supreme energy of the Supreme Lord? Everyone actually takes a small part of the energy, so it is borrowed. The energy of everyone in this world is borrowed from the reservoir of all energy, the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Lord. And devotees and spiritualists understand and acknowledge this, whereas non-devotees and demoniac people with a demoniac mentality are unable to understand, just like Hiranyakashipu. So we need to come out of this Hiranyakashipu perspective, and only then we will be able to appreciate the spiritual value of the Pandavas and the spiritual worthlessness of the Kauravas. The next question is by Vatsalaji. Hare Krishna Guruji. In Canto 1.6, Ashwathama uses Brahmastra twice. Can you please clarify if Arjuna also could use it more than once? Because if I am correct, Dronacharya, when giving this mantra to Arjuna, tells him that he can use it only once. So, actually, this is explained in the Mahabharata, Adi Parva, chapter 135, when the Pandavas and the Kauravas were in the Gurukul ashrama of Dronacharya. Dronacharya imparted the knowledge of all the Shastra Vidya and Astra Vidya to the princess, and at that time he also imparted the knowledge of the Brahmastra to Arjuna. So when he imparted this knowledge in the Mahabharata, in the Adi Parva, in chapter 135, there is no such mention that it could be the Brahmastra could be used only once. So there is no such restriction mentioned in the Mahabharata. The next question, the final question of this session, by Shri S.S. Thakurji. What is most beneficial, reading the Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam? Actually, the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam are the supreme guiding scriptures for the entire mankind. They are on the highest level of absolute knowledge. But even in absolute knowledge, one has to progressively begin from the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and then graduate oneself to the higher level of the revelation of the Absolute Truth as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is called the postgraduate study in spirituality, and therefore it is said that Vidya Bhagavatavati, the highest level of spiritual knowledge is the Srimad Bhagavatam. I had also explained this in one of the sessions that the Srimad Bhagavatam begins from the point where the Bhagavad Gita concludes. The ultimate Charama Shloka of the Bhagavad Gita is in Bhagavad Gita 18.66. That Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. To completely abandon all varieties of religion and exclusively and completely surrender to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This is the ultimate teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam begins from the point that after a Jivatma completely surrenders to Bhagavan, after that what happens? So that is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2 as Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni krite kim va parerishvaraha Sadyo hridya varudhyate trakatebhi shushrushubhistat kshanat. So Bhagavad Gita ends with Sarvadharman Parityajya and Bhagavatam begins with Dharma projita kaitavotra. So both Srimad Bhagavatam and both Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam are the most beneficial for making spiritual progress. But first we need to read and understand, we need to study the Bhagavad Gita and then come to the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.